While on a first date, he suddenly asked me, "Did you tell anyone where you are tonight?" No. I thought, what a weird question, but he just nodded slowly while stirring his drink. I thought he was cute and extremely charming, but throughout dinner he kept asking these oddly specific questions about my routines, getting weirder as our date went on. What time I usually got home from work, if I lived alone, whether my apartment building had security cameras. I tried laughing it off, but started to feel weird. He asked me to go back to his place, but I told him I really needed to get home. However, instead of getting upset, he just offered to give me a ride. Uber was showing $100 for a 10-minute ride, and he was already putting his hand on my shoulder to walk me to his car. "I promise I'm not a serial killer," he laughed. But who even says that? It was too late to say no, and I just hoped for the best. But as soon as we got in, I noticed he quickly locked the doors before I could even put my seatbelt on. I didn't know what to do, and was tempted to text my mom I was literally being kidnapped. He took these weird back roads instead of the highway, claiming it was faster, but my phone's GPS showed we were going the opposite direction from my apartment, and I could feel myself sweating. But out of nowhere, a cop suddenly starts following us, and I see him start to look nervous. My mind starts racing. What if he's wanted and takes me as a hostage? Do I jump out of the car? Red and blue lights suddenly flooded the car's interior, and my date's whole body went rigid. He was getting mad, trying to reach into the glove box as we pulled over. I tried to stop myself from breathing too loud, but could see him starting to get mad the longer we waited. But the officer got onto his intercom and goes, "Driver and passenger, slowly put your hands out the windows where I can see them." My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out as I asked, "Why does he want to do that?" My date just grunted and told me to do it before anything else happens. I put my shaking hands out the side window, thinking I was about to go to jail, and wondering who the F this guy was. Through the side mirror, I watched the officer get out of his car with exaggerated caution, his hand moving to unsnap his holster, approaching us like we were armed and dangerous. This was it. I was on a date with some kind of criminal, but then I saw him slowly put his hand back into the glove box, trying not to let the cop notice. My eyes were wide, because he for sure had a gun in there. The cop screamed, "Take your hand out!" It startled him as he didn't want him to notice, but thankfully just did. Then my date suddenly stuck his middle finger up at the approaching officer and started screaming, "Why'd you pull me over? You filthy pig!" I actually gasped out loud, my whole body going cold as I waited for this cop to draw his weapon. "What are you doing?" I said quietly, but he just shushed me. I wasn't speeding. Leave me alone. I was completely freaking out now. I finally found my voice, begging him to stop. "Are you trying to get us both shot? Stop that." The officer slowly walked up to the window, asking where we were going tonight. I started crying, actually crying, frantically trying to make eye contact with the cop to telepathically communicate that I was just an innocent Tinder date. "Ma'am, how do you know this guy?" he asked. I was sobbing now, absolutely terrified. I managed to say, "Tinder?" He looked confused, and I burst out, "I don't know him. I'm sorry." He looked over at me with my tears and terrified expression. Then out of nowhere, my date puts his hands down on the window, and I thought he was about to try something. But then, the cop suddenly just relaxes as well. He took his hand off his holster and starts laughing. I sat there shaking as both of these guys were now laughing their asses off as the cop says, "What time are we supposed to be at Mom's tonight? I've got her birthday cake back at the station." I sat there like an idiot as it all hit me. We didn't go out again after that.